Once again, welcome to the masterclass. Today, we are going to study inequalities. Inequality in mathematics is a statement or an ordered relationship greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, between two numbers or algebraic expressions, or it is a relationship between two expressions of values that are not equal to each other. This is a not equal to sign. In mathematics, commutatively, 2 times 3 is equal to 3 times 2 because both result is 6. Now, inequality signs means signs which are not equal. The first one we have is greater than sign. Let's take an instance, x is greater than 0. This is its representation on a normal line. It moves towards infinity. The values of s being greater than 0 move towards infinity. Why? Because there is no particular range where x is set to stop. So the values of x greater than 0 are from 1, 2, 3, 4 down to infinity. Greater than or equal to. So since or equal to is being mentioned, we are going to consider from 0 to infinity. So greater than or equal to 0, the values are from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 down to infinity. Less than. So less than, let's say we are given in an illustration or a preamble that x is less than 0. What we're going to consider here is all the values which are less than 0. That is from -1, -2 down to infinity. So that's why we did not take it. So 0 is excluded. Now, less than or equal to 0. That means we are going to consider 0 because we are told that x is less than or equal to. So from 0, -1, -2 down to infinity. That's why we tick this circle here to show that 0 is included. Now, steps in solving an inequality expression. Now, number 1 step is eliminate fractions by multiplying all things by the least common denominators of all fractions. That's getting their LCM and multiplying through. Second one, simplify by combining like terms on each side of the inequalities, grouping like terms. 3, add or subtract inequalities to obtain unknown on one side and numbers on the other. Let's solve this. Question 1, a quadratic inequality. 2 minus x greater than x squared. Let's write this quadratic inequality in a general equation. In a general quadratic equation, rather, we have ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. This is a general quadratic equation. Now let's rewrite this quadratic inequality to take this form: -x squared minus x plus 2 greater than 0. Now, to eliminate this negative here, we're going to multiply through by -1. So this gives us x squared plus x minus 2 less than 0. As we multiply through, the sign here changes. Now, this is a correct quadratic inequality. Now, let's factorize by finding the factors of -2. We have +2 x and -x. Why? Because 2x minus x will give us x, and 2 times -1 rather will give us -2. So x squared plus 2x minus x minus 2 less than 0. Now we move x, that's factorizing x out, x plus 2 less than 0. The shorting factor of x plus 2, also x minus 1, there's a 1 here, less than 0. Alright, let's get this in the number line. Let's get the solution in the number line. When we cross this with the right hand side, it gives us positive 1. So now x minus 2 less than 0. Let's cross it to give us negative 2, right? Yes. Now, this expression is a statement that says when we multiply any values in these two numbers, in these two brackets, it will give us a value which is less than 0. In other words, if I should substitute any real number into these two brackets, after multiplication, the result should be less than 0. Right? Now, we know that all the values from this side, negative 1 to here, are positive as well. Values from negative 2 down to negative infinity are as well negative, right? You know that. Alright, now let's impute a value greater than 1. If we impute a value greater than 1, let's say 2, into this bracket, we have 4 plus 4 times 1 is 4, right? And 4 is greater than 0, so this is invalid. Now let's take a value between negative 2 and 1. Let's take 0. 0 plus 2 and 0 minus 1. So it gives us 2 times negative 1, which is negative 2. Therefore, if the values between negative 2 and 1 is correct, if I should pick as well negative 1 here, negative 1 plus 1 is 1, negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. So 1 times negative 2 is negative 2 as well. So negative 2 is less than 0, which is also valid. You see that the numbers in between negative 2 and 1, when imputed into this bracket, will give us a value or a solution which is less than 0. So this for the range of negative 2 to positive 1, this is valid. This equation here is valid. If I should put a value which is less than negative 2, let me say negative 3. If I should put negative 3 here, negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. So negative 3, negative 1 times negative 4 give me positive 4, which is not correct because positive 4 is greater than 0 and not less than 0. So the values from negative 2 down to negative infinity is wrong. So this is the correct solution, from negative 2 down to positive 1. Alright, now this can be written as x should be less than 1 and x should be greater than negative 2. And this can also be seen, this means that x is bigger than negative 2 because s is greater than negative. So this can be saying that this can be also written negative 2 is less than x. You know why? X is bigger than negative 2. So negative 2 is smaller than what? X. So negative 2 is smaller than x. This is the reverse. Now combining this, so x is also less than 1. So this is the solution to this equation. S minus 2 less than x, x less than 1 as well. So let's go to this. So this is the correct solution. Option D is correct. Hope it is well understood.
Question number 2. What are the integer values of x which satisfy the inequality minus 1 less than 3 minus 2x less than or equal to 5? So minus 1 less than 3x minus 2x less than or equal to 5. Now let's solve this inequality separately. Minus 1 less than 3x minus 2x. So grouping like terms. Sorry, there's no x here. So minus 1 less than 3 minus 2x. Right, so minus 1 less than, this 3 will now cross to the left hand side, becomes minus 3 less than negative 2x. So minus 4 less than minus 2x, right? inequality, when we divide by negative sign, everything, the sign changes. So this gives us minus 4 greater than negative 2x. This cancel out, so 2 greater than x. This is the first expression. And also, let's now tackle this one. 3 minus 2s less than or equal to 5. So this gives us negative 2x less than or equal to 5 minus 3 minus 2x less than or equal to 2. So dividing through by negative sign, this also inequality sign also changes. So minus 2x greater than or equals to 2 or negative 2 or negative 2. This cancel out, so x is greater than negative 1. I've seen it now. Now putting this together, this can be written as x is less than 2 and also x is greater than negative 1. So negative side comes first, so x is greater than negative 1 and also what, x is less than 2. So this can be written as negative 1 inclusive, 0 and 1. X is less than 2, not less than or equal to 2. In case it is less than or equal to 2, then 2 is also inclusive, but x is less than 2, so 2 is not included. This is how it is now, negative 1, 0 and 1. So looking at this, option D is correct. Yes. The solution of the quadratic inequality x squared plus x minus 12 greater than or equal to 0 is, now writing the equation down, x squared, which is positive, cancel it, x squared plus x minus 12 greater than or equal to 0. This looks like the general equation, or general quadratic equation rather, a in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. Now what comes into our mind is we find the factors of 12. So we have x squared plus 4x minus 3x minus 12 greater than or equal to 0. If we should add 4x minus 3x, we get x. If we should multiply 4 times negative 3, we get negative 12. So let's go ahead and factorize. So x is here, 4 minus 3, come out, x plus 4 bracket close greater than or equal to 0. If we should add, you see that these brackets here are equal. So these are the shouting factors. So x plus 4, so x minus 3 greater than or equals to 0. Hope you're following now. Now comparing each of the bracket to the inequality sign here, greater than or equal to 0. So x plus 4 greater than or equal to 0 first, x greater than or equal to negative 4, and also x minus 3 greater than or equal to 0. So x greater than or equal to positive 3. So you can see this and also this and this. X is greater than or equal to 3, x is greater than or equal to minus 4. So this is, our option is correct. Option B is correct. Next question. Form an inequality of a distance d meters which is more than 80 meters. So d is more than 18 meters but not more than 23 meters. It means that what, d is not more than, that means 23 is included, the limit is also what, included. So d will now also be less than or equals to 23. I saying it, but not more than. So the highest limit is 23. So this can mean, since d is greater than 18, it means d is bigger than what? 18. This can also be said that 18 is smaller than d because this is the bigger value. So 18 is smaller than d, and also d is less than or equals to 23. So option B is the correct one. Correct.
Next question. Interpret the inequality represented on the number line from -4 down to 5. 4 is excluded and 5 is excluded. 4 is excluded rather, and 5 is included. So from this point down to this x, this tells us that 4 won't be counted or considered when numbering. We'll have from what? -3 down to x. So this can be said that s is greater than 4. X greater than what? 4. You know that -3 is greater than what? 4. -2 is greater than -3. -1 is greater than what? -2. And this point, x is less than or equal to 5. That is from 5 down to this x. So this can be, since x is greater than 4, it means that 4 is small. So 4 is less than x, and x also is less than or equal to 5. So comparing this, so negative is here. So -4. So the correct option is option A. I'm back. So let's solve this question. This inequality question is very simple to solve, and also you can see that it has fraction in it. What is the rules in solving an inequality question involving fraction? You must first of all multiply through by the LCM. And the lowest common multiple here is 12, because 12 is divisible by all these fractions. 2, 4, and 6 being the denominators. So let's multiply each of these by 12. This gives us 12 times x over 2 plus 12 times 3 over 4 less than or equals to 12 times 5x over 6 minus 7 over 12 times 12. 2 cancel 6, you have 6x plus 4 cancel 12, you have 3, so 3 times 3 is 9 less than or equals to 6. Here we cancel 12 twice, so 2 times 5 is 10x minus 12 cancel 12 1, so 1 times 7 is 7. So we have what? 6x plus 9 less than 10x minus 7. Now let's group like terms. Let's take the x to the left hand side, so 6x minus 10x less than -7 minus 9. -4x less than or equals to -16, right? Now let's divide through by -4. As I told you, this sign will solely change. X greater than or equals to +4. So this is the correct answer, which is option A. Very, very simple and easy equation. First of all, let's multiply through by the numbers outside the bracket, giving us 6 times -6 times x is -6x minus 18 less than or equals to 4x minus 8. So -4x is here, -6x rather, crossing the 4x to the left hand side gives us -4x less than or equal to -8 plus what? 18. Good. So -6x minus 4x is -10x less than or equal to 10. So dividing through by a negative number, I told you earlier that the sign
the inequality sign here would surely change. So x now is greater than or equal to 10 over 10 over 10 over 10. That's divided by negative 10. This cancels this. This cancels this. So we have what? X is greater than or equal to negative 1, which is correct. So from this, how we see our solution here is option B, which is very good. This is very, very easy. Option B is the correct.
Now, solving question 8. Solve the inequality x squared plus 2x greater than 15. Alright, this is the quadratic inequality greater than 0. We find the factors of negative 15. We have 5 and 3. When we sum 5 and 3, that's 5x minus 3x gives us 2x. 5 times negative 3 gives us negative 15. Now, factorizing common terms, which is x. X is common here. You factorize x out, plus 5 minus into bracket 3, because 3 can divide 15 5 times. Bracket close, x plus 5. We know that negative 3 times x is negative 3x, as in here. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Why? Negative times positive is negative. Negative times positive is as well negative. Now the shorting factor in this is this bracket, x plus 5 and s plus 5. So s plus 5, then x minus 3 greater than 0. Now let's find the inequality. Let's find the values which should be greater than 0. For these two brackets, x plus 5 and s minus 5, both of them won't take or be equated to greater than 0. One must be less than 0 and the other one greater than 0. Now how can we find this? Let's do this using the number line. You have, when we cross this, let's go to x minus 3 greater than 0, x is greater than positive 3, x plus 5 greater than 0, x is greater than negative 5. Now, ignoring these signs, the inequality signs, let's concentrate on these numbers. 3 and negative 5. Now, x, the values of x is what? Greater than positive 3, right? Let's take a number close greater than positive 3. Let's take it to be, let's say 4. Let's take 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. It's positive number. Now 4 minus 3 is 1, which is also positive. Positive times positive is a positive number, which is also greater than 0. This is valid. Greater than 0. Let's take a number between negative 5 and 3. Let's say 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 minus 3 is minus 3. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. And negative 15 is less than 0, so it's not valid. Let's take a number which is less than negative 5. Let's say negative 6. Negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1, and negative 6 minus 3 is negative 9. So negative 1 times negative 9 give us positive. Hope you're saying negative 3. Negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1. Negative 6 minus 3 is as well negative 9. Negative 1 times negative 9 is positive 9, and positive 9 is greater than 0. So for this side here, we're positive. You see that? So this does so that x should be greater than 3, and also x should be less than negative 5, because when we put any number greater than positive 3, the value will always be greater than 0. when we impute values which are less than -5, everything here will also be, when multiplied, will also be greater than 0. So this is the solution, and this can be written as -5 is greater than x, and x is also greater than 3. So you can see D is the correct solution.
Question 9. Solve the inequality 1 minus 2x less than 1 over 3. 1 minus 2x less than 1 over 3. Very simple question. Here the LCM is 3. Multiply the whole inequality by 3. So 3 times bracket 1 times 2x. 1 minus 2x rather, less than 1 over 3 times 3. So 3 multiply this. We have 3 minus 6x less than 1. So minus 6x less than 1. This 3 crosses the right hand side. Come minus 3. So minus 6x less than -2. Dividing through by -6. I told you earlier on, the sign has to change. So this cancel this. This cancel this to 1 over 3. So x is greater than 1 over 3. Sorry, x is greater than. Alright, there was a mistake somewhere here. So here was negative. Yeah, thank you very much. Negative in mathematics, you have to be careful to avoid mistakes at all costs. So this is -4. -4. So this gives us 2 over 3. So x is greater than 2 over. So let me write it. S is greater than 2 over 3. So option C is correct, as you can see. Yeah, so simple. Now let's solve this directly. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 1 is 3. Less than or equal to 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 10. Sorry, this camera is blurry a bit.
Here our LCM is what? 12, the least common multiple, right? Now let's multiply each of these whole expression by 12. 12 times -m over 2 minus 12 times -5. Sorry, 12 minus 5 over 4 equals to 5m over 12 times 12 minus 7 over 6 times 12. This is very easy. No need to solve it because I'm sure you can solve it on your own. -m, 4 cancel this 3 times, -3 times 5, get 1 equals to 0. 5m minus 6, you cancel 12 twice, 2, 7 times 2 is 14. Now grouping like terms, -6m. Okay, 15. Let's expand first. Let's simplify rather. Minus 14. Now grouping like terms, -6m minus 5m greater than or equals to -14. It's crosses come positive 5, 15, negative 11n greater than or equals to 1. So dividing through by negative, m will be less than or equals to negative 1 over f1. Very, very simple.
With calculation 12, you see that this is in form of a fraction. The inequality appears in a fractional form. You know, the first step to take is to multiply through by the LCM, which is 2. Multiplying each by 2, 2 and 2 cancel out. You're left with this only. So multiplying this and this is 4 minus 2x. So grouping like them, these two crosses, giving us this less than 4, negative 5 crosses. Now simplifying and adding, 4x less than 9, dividing through by 4, you have 9 over 4, which is also written as 2 whole number 1 over 4.
Solving this Waec inequality. Find the range of values of t which satisfies the inequality 2t minus 1 less than or equal to 3 and negative 2 plus t greater than or equal to negative 5. Now let's take the first inequality. Solving this, group like terms, negative 1 equals to the right hand side, 2t less than or equal to 3 plus 1, 2t less than or equal to 4, dividing through by 2, we have t less than or equal to 4 over 2. Now t is less than or equal to 2. Taking the second inequality here. Yes, there's negative here. Negative 2 plus t greater than or equal to negative 5. Making t the subject of the inequality. T is greater than or equal to negative 5 plus 2. T is greater than or equal to negative 3. Now combining these, t is less than or equal to 2 and t is greater than or equal to negative 3. This means that t is bigger than or equal to negative 3. In other words, negative 3 is smaller than t, so negative 3 is less than or equal to t. Now combining these, we have negative 3 less than or equal to t, and t is also what? Less than or equal to 2. Now from our option D is correct.
Solving this, 3x minus 2, let's solve it by parts. 3x minus x less than 10, this crosses to the right hand side, plus 2, 2x less than 12, so dividing through by 2, 12 divided by 2, so x is less than 6. This is for the first part. Now let's solve this and this together. 10 plus x less than 2 plus 5 x minus 2x, that is crossing x minus 5x, rather crossing 5x to the left hand side less than 2, crossing 10 to the right hand side, so negative 4x less than 8, divided through by negative 4x greater than 4 over negative 4, negative 8 over negative 4, rather x is greater than positive 2. I've seen it, so it can be written as 2 is less than x and x is less than 6. This means x is bigger than 2. That means 2 is more AB, so 2 is smaller than x. X is bigger, 2 is smaller, so 15. What do you observe? It's in fraction form. What is your first step? Multiply by the LCM. What is your LCM here? 8. 8 times 4 plus 3 over 2. 3 over 4 times 8. X plus 2. This and this are together. This fraction is together. This expression, they are together. So no need of multiplying x plus 2
by 12 again. So less than or equal to 3 over 8 x times 8 plus 1 times 8. So 32 plus twice 2 times 3, 6. 6 multiplying x plus 2 less than or equal to this and this cancels, so 3x plus 8. Simplifying 6x plus 12 less than or equals to 3 plus 8. 6x minus 3x less than or equals to 8. Crosses to the left, 32 minus 12. 3x less than or equals to 8 minus 32 is negative 24 minus 12 again, negative 36 over 3 over 3. So x is less than or equals to negative 12. That's your answer.